What's up YouTube? This is AP iPhone Help, and today, I know I've been not making videos for a while, but today is the start of all the new and improved AP iPhone Help channel. So make sure you're subscribed, and you'll definitely be seeing a lot more videos to come. But anyway, today we're going to talk about the September 10th Apple event that has officially been set by Apple yesterday, so we're just going to talk about it. Alright, so first things first, basically Apple said that on September 10th they're going to hold an event. It's going to, it looks like this right here, and this is the invitation that they sent out. And then also on September 11th they're having another event just in China, just for China, and it might basically be the same, I don't know, but I think they're trying to improve the time when China gets it versus the United States gets the new updates and the new products that we get, because there is quite a time difference of whether or not they get it, we get it, whatever. And also Apple does have a lot of their manufacturers over in China. So I think it's a good idea that they're now doing two events, one in China, one in the United States. That way, it further brings everything together. Alright, so basically what's this event going to be about? Honestly, everyone knows what it's going to be about. It's going to be about the new iPhones, but there actually is a little bit more to that. So the first thing that we're going to see probably is the iPhone 5S. I think they might introduce a gold backplated iPhone 5S, not real gold obviously, just gold colored, and it's just going to improve on the specs, the processor, the graphics, all that kind of stuff. And I think that they're going to talk about that very, very briefly, because it's basically just an upgraded 5, and it's not new. Like, it's new, but it's not like they haven't done it before with a 4S or anything like that. So I don't think that we're going to see a lot of time being spent on the 5S. Now, like I said, they're not going to spend a lot of time on the 5S. They probably are going to spend a lot of time on the 5C, which is what everybody is waiting for to happen. And I think that this is going to be one of Apple's greatest hits for the iPhone. It's completely revolutionizing. I know that's what Apple uses, but it's really not. It's probably like one of the things that everyone has wanted since the iPhone came out, and that is the different color schemes. As you can see in the invitation right here, there's a lot of like circles, different colored circles, and it says that about being everything is in color or whatever. I think that they're going to bring those different colored circles, like the blues, the pinks, the reds, the oranges, and all the other colors in this invitation to the iPhone, and they're going to call it the iPhone 5C. This is what everyone has been talking about. It's really, really cool. Idea-wise, I just really want to see all the internals of it, and I hope that they don't really bring the internals down way too much, that it's not worth it, because then that would be very, very lame, I guess, on Apple's part. But since we're talking about the internals, let's talk about exactly what everyone has been saying the internals are going to be with this new iPhone 5C. Alright, so like I said, it's probably going to be colored, and a lot of people are speculating that the colored back is going to be plastic, and that is actually kind of nice because it's going back to the way that the iPhone 3G and 3GS were, and you don't really break the back that much. It's less to worry about with breaking your phone. It's not the glass back, it's plastic. It doesn't really, it doesn't really matter. Although if you do break it, it is a lot harder to replace. But it still looks a lot cooler now, I believe, if it is going to be colored. Now, with that plastic, also they're probably going to bump down all of the internal specs, like the storage on it, like the processor, all that kind of stuff. I think they're basically just probably going to bump it down to an iPhone 4S and make it a bigger screen, stick with the same screen size that the iPhone 5 has, but with the 5C, make it colored, bump the specs on the inside down to either the 5 or the 4S, don't have them up with the 5S that's going to be coming out. And with all that stuff bumped down, they're going to probably lower the price to $100, which is really nice for the average consumer, because I mean, now a lot of kids have iPhones. They don't have $200 to spend every year. Now they're being lowered to $100, which isn't bad at all. Alright, so that basically covers everything with the iPhone part of this event that Apple is having on September 10th or the 11th, depending whether or not you're in China or USA. But anyway, like I said, they might even be announcing a lot of other stuff with the iPhone. So it might not just be about the iPhone, although it's probably going to be focused around the iPhone. They're probably going to be releasing the Gold Master iOS 7 to developers, and have in September have the release of iOS 7 to the public, and they're probably going to give us that release date on September 10th. So that's nice. And I mean, if you don't already have iOS 7, click down here somewhere. There's somewhere around here. There's a link to how to get iOS 7. I did a video on that, so that's kind of cool, because I still have iOS 7 beta, which I will be also showing next week. Next week I'll have 2 videos up, one for the recap and one for the beta of iOS 7, showing you what it is about. Alright, so like I said, they're probably going to be announcing a couple other things other than just, iPhone and iOS 7. And some of those things are either the iPod and iPad announcements, the new products with that, all the new updates with that. They could do a different event like they did before, they did a music event. Tim Cook didn't really do that last time, but they could go back to it, because I thought it was a really good idea to have separate events. And they'll get more hype out of each event if they do it separately, whereas if you do it together, everyone's like, oh, they just focus on one thing, most likely going to be the iPhone 5C, because it is a new development for Apple, I guess you could say, even though a lot of other phones have been colored for a while. So that's probably not going to be here, but I mean, it could definitely be. They could definitely talk about the new iPads and iPod Touches, or in that case, regular iPods that they're going to be releasing. And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about is the Mac Pro. Earlier, when Apple released iOS 7, well, not released it, but announced it and released it to the developers, the Mac Pro, they said something that they would be updating that in the future, this year. So later this year, they could probably bring the Mac Pro into this, just because I think that the Mac Pro only has a certain amount of people that it is really directed to, producers of movies and stuff like that, because it's a very high quality machine. Since it only has a certain amount of people that it's directed to, it's not really that important. And if it's not, if it's overlooked by the majority of people, that's usually what it is anyway. So I think that they might actually bring the Mac Pro into this this event and just show us everything that it's going to be about, because we did see pictures of it, as you can see right here, but we didn't really see too much about the actual specs and all that stuff. So hopefully we will be seeing a lot more of the Mac Pro really soon, if not the September 10th event later this year. But that's basically all that's going to be happening on September 10th and 11th. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not. And make sure you're keeping track. I will be having 2 videos next week, but normal weeks I'll be having 1 video a week. So make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with all that stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.